Hey, so here is a quick rundown of your website and your social media, sort of the audit that I promised. It's usually quicker and easier and a little bit clearer for everyone if I do this as a video rather than just sort of writing it all out. So let me kind of run down the things that I see real quick and then you can kind of take it from there. But so anyway, opening up your website, first thing I see is this nice big sort of hero image, which is actually a video. I do like that. Though when you go to play it obviously kind of feel. That being said, I think I would prefer this to be moved down below some other information. It's nice, but it's the why, and it doesn't really share with your potential clients any new kind of feature or give them any product to see or anything like that. Really, it's a great video. I love it, but I think I'd maybe start off with kind of highlighting some of your key product that you can do or key service kind of a thing. So let's start up here at this top navigation where it says Home and Events. Home is obviously good. It's not really necessary anymore. Most people understand that clicking the logo or clicking up in the banner will take them back to the home, so you can save yourself some real estate there by removing that and just keeping it as the clicking on the home logo. Events and news, I'll be honest with you, I'd get rid of those. I don't think that that's real important for most people who are coming to find out more about what you offer. Keep in mind that your clients are coming to purchase something, and the name of the game is removing the barriers. So you want to remove as many barriers to potential customers as possible. And so the best way to do that is give them the things they want the most up front and make it easy. Now, if you end up with a lot of events and a lot of news, then that's fine. But right now, those things are blank. And so anything that's blank, I would just remove or move down. These events and news are great things to have in the footer, way down at the bottom here. That's where I would put them, and that's where I would leave them. I wouldn't worry about them having key points in your navigation. Kind of the same with your regular navigation. You've got your services, and then it's an additional drop-down. Keep in mind with mobile, drop-downs are really sort of passe at this point. You don't really want drop-downs. So what I would actually do is remove this gallery, or at least shift it over, and put the about down in the footer too, because as much as you care about your business and as much as some people want to care about it, it's really not something that most people are actually going to come and navigate. If you look at what we call heat maps, which are when we kind of map where people go on the website, the about page isn't usually frequented that often, but having it in the footer or down to the side. So if you move things further to the right here, that's where things are going to sort of be less important. You mentioned some online store stuff happening at some point, but you don't have it now. So if there's a way to hide the shopping cart, that could get troublesome for potential clients as well, or potential customers, because they're looking for a way to buy something, but there's nothing to buy, and that might get them confused. Down here, you list all of your services, which are great, but going to those, the issue that I see is that it's a lot of text. I'd love to see some pictures, some examples here, because I visually want to see what you're trying to do. You've got so much good stuff, so many awesome products, so many things that you can do. Even if it's like a kind of a montage single image here instead of a bunch of different photos, but something that kind of shows people what they're looking for. I think you need to visually represent that. I think that'd be really strong. Same for commercial. Visually represent that same commercial idea here rather than just sort of the text box. Because otherwise right now there's nothing new on any of this information in the drop downs other than what's in the header part of the services, which is that. And that actually is more appealing to me than the individual things broken down with nothing else, because at least here I'm still seeing some things that you would do. So I'd actually lose all of the drop downs and just have a services that took me to this page as you currently have your site. The gallery would be great, except for there's nothing on the gallery. An easy solution for that is to embed your Instagram feed because you're updating Instagram, and that's one less thing for you have to do. You can update Instagram, and it's updating your website, and it's showing people your new stuff and different products. So I would simply embed the Instagram feed there, at least in the short term. Your web guy might have another solution coming that's in the works, but in the short term, just doing an embed of that Instagram feed is an easy way to get that content in there without you having to do a lot of extra work. The About page, again, I love the About page. Once it loads, the About page is great. You know, it kind of runs down your why again with that video, and it gives you some services again. But it's kind of redundant with everything that's happened on the front page and under services. So I do think you could move that down to the footer or even all the way off to the end. Your videos page is really good because there's a lot of video there. I wouldn't mess with that too much, other than just kind of keeping it sort of further off to the right. Here's the thing, the R machines. I just don't think that needs to be up top in the header. That's one of those things that most people don't care about. It's too technical. You know, if I'm coming in and I want to get some tumblers done or something engraved, the machine that you do it on is not that important to me. I used to have that same issue. I wanted to tell everybody about the kind of cameras that I was using and things like that. It's just not something. It's unless they're in that world, it's over their head and they don't care. I would move all of that down into the footer. And maybe make a section in the footer for, it seems like you've got kind of two audiences here. It's like the potential customers audience and then people you're trying to sell machines to or train machines with, and that can be a little confusing. So I would really just move that down to the bottom, unless you actually have a big part of your business that's selling these machines or training people on these machines, in which case, if that is, you might even consider making it just its own unique page or something like that. But for people to kind of peruse. But again, you might want some text up here to kind of talk about what that stuff is. But I would definitely move this machines down to the footer too, and break out your services and just have the things that you sell here. I'm guessing that there's some other plans in the works for this site based on the conversation that we had, because I don't see any products. But ideally what you want is along this top navigation, you want your products. You want the things that you're trying to sell out there quickly. So you want to make sure that that stuff is easy to get to and accessible and clear to your audience. So having your core things listed in these navigations is going to be key, and getting rid of everything else and putting the About and the R machines and that stuff down in the footer. Or maybe you have another section that's About or more info or something like that, and it has a drop down with these things, and you can just keep that over here. But I would get rid of the drop down here and either stretch these out or not even worry about stretching them out and just go right to that individual services, because you just don't have anything else there right now. Other than that, the website looks really good. This is good. I'd love to see more of this stuff. I would actually move this up into where the video is and then put the video below it, because I think people want to see some things right away. Right now, my first impression is the only thing you really do is concrete, because that's what all the text talks about is concrete and the machine that does concrete. I would have no idea as a customer that you do some of the other things you do, like the tumblers and the Yeti, things like that, or the wood. So I would move some of that up to the front, and I'd make some more language about that you do those things. So that's real quick on the website. There's obviously some more things you could do, but I think that's where to start. Going over to Facebook, I'm going to move this over here because it's easier to see, because Facebook has stuff on this side. Facebook page is good. It's clean. You do have a lot of followers. My concern would be that they're not relevant to you. There is a section in Facebook now that's in this About piece that you can add a photo and add some more. It's got bio information in what Facebook calls it, but basically it's another place to put text and an image, and I would use that. I would make sure you're putting something in there. As you can see, you've got a huge audience, but even on a video, which gets better play than most, it's not a ton of views and shares for some of this stuff. 22. That's it's good engagement for uh, the size business you're in and what you do, but it's honestly really bad engagement for the size of your potential audience there. That 11,358 people that like your page, I would expect to see a whole lot more likes and comments and shares. The coffee company that I mentioned has about 3,000, just shy of 3,000 uh, likes on its page, and it will often get 20 to 40 shares and several comments and 60 likes and stuff like that. So your engagement and your comment stuff is low based on that number, and I suspect that's because a lot of these people are not actually in your your clientele. You know, they're out of country, or they're not really interested in, and they just somehow got in there. It's still nice social proof, so I'm not, you know, you don't need to go deleting anything, but just to kind of give you a heads up that that's where you're at. Again, 3 shares, 3 comments, that kind of stuff. But what you're posting is great. I love the content. The content is wonderful. You are getting engagement from people, and you are getting shares, which is nice. So I think you're going to just continue to grow in that respect. But again, like we talked about, organic reach is kind of dead, and you can see that, you know, for what you have in your audience pool, there's just not a lot there going on. So to show new people what you're doing, you need to go outside of your current sphere and run ads. Over to Instagram, obviously your Instagram followers, not quite as much, but that's because it's more natural. Those are people who have followed you more organically, so I'm guessing you probably have better engagement on Instagram than you do on Facebook. One thing I do notice right away is I kind of mentioned it at your house, but you've got one of those sins there. Whoops, didn't mean to click on that. I would put your address. If I come across your page and I want to go visit your store, want to go check you out, I don't really know how to go there without having to search for it by going to the website. You want to eliminate all of the obstacles you can, so by having your address and phone number and even email address right here in this bio piece is going to be very helpful to you. I keep clicking on that, don't mean to. But I would definitely add that there. It's a quick and easy win, and it's only going to do you good. Going down, I'm going to just click on a couple things. Yeah, so you can see already you've got way more engagement in Instagram than you do in Facebook. You've got, you know, a lot more comments. Your strategy here is good. You know, you've got your caption. They're saying now, and there's no actual, like, you know, real, like, published info behind this, but they're saying now that the Instagram algorithm doesn't really care whether the comment it has the hashtags or whether it's in the description, but they are saying that you probably want to stick to closer to 5. Most people who are studying that are saying that between 5 and maybe 7, so if you want to round it, even 3 to 7 hashtags are ideal. More than that, they're kind of counting it as being spammy, even though you can technically add up to, I think it's 28, I think it's 28, it might be 30 hashtags, but less is actually better. You're not getting dinged as much on that. But what I do see here is a lot of hashtags that, while technically relevant, aren't going to help you out with anything. Pumpkin pie is a huge hashtag, and you're just not going to break through that noise. Same with pumpkin, same with Happy Thanksgiving, Tuesday, all those things. They're just wasted hashtags. They're not helping you out in any way because they're just too big and they're not really relevant, right? Everyone in the world is looking at the hashtag pumpkin pie, but they're not really coming to you for that. What I do like is South Carolina. I like Soda City. I like Colatown. I would add Lexington SC. I would add Columbia SC. I would add Lake Murray to that as well to give you some geotagging kinds of hashtags in there. You can, Boulder Engraving, having your own hashtag in that is also not really necessary, and it's not helpful. simply because other people aren't searching for it and going to find that organically. And if they want to find you or tag you, they're just going to tag the account rather than a hashtag. So you can get rid of that one too. That's just a couple things with the hashtags. But it does look like you're keeping up pretty well in terms of posting on a fairly regular basis and posting good quality stuff. So that's awesome. I really like that a lot. Go to another one just to kind of see. Again, same kind of hashtags are here, but this time you did add Columbia SC and Lexington SC and Charleston SC, so those are all great. Palmetto State, yeah, these are all really good hashtags. There's a couple in here that you probably don't need to worry about. Again, Boulder Engraving, Make a Bold Statement, Engraving, they're just too big. Leather is probably just too big. If you had an audience of several million, you might be able to break through with some of those hashtags, but as it stands right now, you just don't have the audience to break through a hashtag that has millions of followers. So I would cut that down. It also becomes less spammy, and you can kind of focus on, those 3 to 7 key hashtags so that you're not getting dinged on that. And that's really all I have to say at this point. I think you've got some really good stuff. I don't mean to sound negative in any way. I really do like what you've got. I think I would fix the couple things. The main thing right away is adding your contact information into the Instagram profile. That's going to be really, really helpful. Getting that other little photo and bio information in your Facebook page here would be really good. But you've got your contact information and website, so you're covered there. A lot of people end up missing out on that. And then your website, we just kind of need to define exactly what you're trying to show people and what you want to sell and how you want to sell it. But I would move some of this stuff down to the bottom, or if not, at least try to make it a little cleaner, especially on mobile, because this becomes a drop down in a drop down. Because the mobile version, I'll try to shrink this up and show you. So my calendar here so you can see it better. So this is kind of what the mobile version looks like, which means you have a drop down and then you have a drop down. So it's a lot harder for people to navigate that as a mobile site. So eliminating those extra drop downs only helps on mobile as well. So, all right, man. Well, I hope that helps. If you have any questions about any of that, I'm happy to talk you through. Everything else looked pretty good. You got your standard footer stuff, your newsletter. I don't know if you're actually doing anything with your newsletter or what you'd be doing. There's some options there. This language isn't really helpful because no one wants to sign up for a newsletter. But if you're offering discounts or deals through your newsletter, then that's the way I'd phrase that. Sign up for discounts and deals or monthly specials or something. Again, I would move a lot of that, the owner resources stuff, the Our Machines, down into this footer. Same with the About stuff. And maybe just kind of rework it so that when people first get here, they see some of the products and some of the options that are available. Anyway, hope that was helpful. If you have questions, let me know, and I will talk to you soon. And hopefully I can get you some business. I'd love to get you connected with Floor Boys. I think that would be a good one. So anyway, man, I will talk to you later. Bye.